Welp, I just watched Jurassic World Dominion, and it's not a good sign when I legitimately can't decide on which is worse between this or Fallen Kingdom. The final installment of the Jurassic World franchise, and I'd say for the series, but let's be honest, as long as these movies keep making money, they're just gonna keep making them. This is a non-spoiler review, so don't worry, there's no spoilers here. I will do a spoiler review because there's kind of a lot to talk about with this movie on just how bad it is. But this movie is, first off, for a movie like this, I've kind of accepted the fact that none of the Jurassic Park nor World movies after the original are gonna be good. So I just hope that they're at least entertaining, which at least Jurassic World is for me. But that's really the only one that I can say that for. And it's still the only one I can say that for, especially after this movie. This movie feels, I guess I'll dive straight into it. I can't really think of any positives to say about this. The animatronics are nice, even though some of them you can tell are really animatronics based on their movement and all that. But I mean, it's still cool to see the giant animatronics being built and working, so I guess that's nice. I liked the scene that you see in the trailer where Owen's riding on a horse like a cowboy trying to wrangle some parasaurs. That was, fun to see, like cowboys and dinosaurs. Yeah. I'm really drawing a blank. I cannot really think of anything good about this movie. At least Fallen Kingdom, I could say that, the music was okay, but here, even the score by Michael Giacchino is just so uninspired, and at points it'll start the Jurassic Park theme, but it'll just stop. And it plays this theme at like the most random moments. Like a character will just randomly appear and it'll be like, and it'll just stop right there. And so it's just really weird. But yeah, I guess we'll just go into the negatives of this movie, because honestly, I went into this movie with pretty low expectations, especially after Fallen Kingdom, but at least I thought they couldn't make it worse than Fallen Kingdom. But I was wrong. I think the biggest problem with this movie is that it's just so boring. Everything feels uninspired, lame, there's not much to say, it's just a boring movie. Those are the worst type of movies to talk about because they're just so boring. This movie can't do anything right. It's actually kind of amazing. The cinematography is okay at best. I can't really think of any great outstanding shots that stuck out to me. At least Fallen Kingdom, I could name a couple of shots that I liked, even though I hate that movie. The editing in this movie is atrocious. It's the standard quick jump action cuts during action scenes, and so you can't tell what is happening anywhere. The acting, with the exception of maybe two characters, is not very good from anyone, and it doesn't help that they're not given a good script either. The dialogue is absolutely terrible, the story is terrible, it's just everything is bad. And I hear a lot of people saying, well, at least there's a lot of dinosaur action scenes. Yeah, there's a lot of dinosaur action scenes, but each one lasts maybe a minute and then it just cuts away from them. Dinosaurs technically aren't even the main focus of this plot in this movie, which you would think that in a world where dinosaurs are interacting with humans and have invaded our world, you think that would be a pretty big focus, if not the main focus of the movie, but for some reason they did not do that, and I cannot understand why. I mean, I guess I can give them a compliment that at least what they did was kinda new, but that's really about it. And there's two different stories that don't feel like they're going anywhere. It's like two separate movies that all of a sudden have to come and be Frankenstein together to one middle. Another complaint is this movie is way too fast paced. There's a lot of scenes in here that really could have benefited with them taking their time. And if you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's so many different scenes, from just some of the action scenes, particularly one, if you know what if you've seen the movie, could have been better if it was a little more drawn out and a little more, just more entertaining and not the worst climax in any Jurassic Park film, which is kind of saying something. But just in the first 30 minutes, we jump from like 5 different locations around the world. It's absolutely crazy. We just go, all right, we're in Nebraska, and now we're in Texas, and now we're in Wyoming, and now we're in Montana, and it just hops all over the place. And each scene is just a couple minutes long. It feels really disjointed and not well paced at all. Another thing is the chemistry between any of the characters does not feel natural at all. It's kind of incredible that not even, well, especially since the acting is so piss poor, it doesn't really help with that either. But the fact that we have all these different characters interacting with each other with all these possibilities of different dialogues, especially given their backstories, their histories with one another, and their potential new relationships that they could form with the old and the new characters with one another. But the script doesn't take advantage of it. It's just, look at all these characters, they're together, isn't that cool? Well, wouldn't it be cool to see them interact with each other? That was one of the good things that made the MCU so popular back in the old days, is seeing these characters come back from separate movies and interacting with one another. I don't think the MCU's never been especially strong with their stories, with maybe a few exceptions. Their best moments have always been with their characters, and so that's really what they should have focused on here, is these characters interacting with each other. But instead we just gotta kind of jump from one quick action scene to another quick action scene, but have a long space in between, and it just wasn't a fun movie. Like, I don't know what else to say. At least with Jurassic World, I can look at that and be like, yeah, the movie's not good, but at least it's entertaining, and I feel like it tries to go all out with the campy B-roll monster movie type aspect. Even Fallen Kingdom, I can understand why someone would at least find that entertaining in certain aspects. But this is just the same stuff we've seen before, but it's so obvious that it's just referencing past material, and it's saying, ooh, look at these member berries, do you remember these? There's one scene in particular that's so on the nose with how obnoxious it is to a past reference that even my friends who saw it pointed out on how they should have made one decision and instead of doing 2 things. But hey, they wanted to stroke your nostalgia balls, so it's worked for some. But I definitely see how this is the lowest rated I can definitely see how this is the lowest rated Jurassic Park movie / world movie. The first world, it's dumb, it's stupid, but I feel like it kind of knows this, so it just kind of tries to go balls to the walls crazy, which I think helps it work. Even Fallen Kingdom, which is bad, and I despise that film. If you've watched my review of all the Jurassic World movies of the franchise, you can see what I mean. But like I said, at least I can see why people would like certain aspects of it. At least them running away from a volcano is interesting. At least this movie makes the dinosaurs the main focus of the plot. But here, you literally have a world full of dinosaurs, and you do nothing with it. You don't go over the repercussions of having such, or humans interacting with it. But that's more into spoiler territory, so unless you were like dying hard to go see this movie, it's a very underwhelming movie, especially if this was the movie to end your series, to end the trilogy. Like, really, this is the way you go out? Even my friends who did enjoy the movie, even they were like, really? That's gonna be your quote-unquote big finale? This is your quote-unquote endgame according to the creators of this movie? Endgame, for all its flaws, at least goes for spectacle. This movie doesn't feel like it goes for spectacle. It's just, we're going through the motions. You're gonna see the movie anyway, so we don't have to really try. At least Fallen Kingdom tried a little. It was stupid, but at least it tried a little. This feels like it had no effort put on from anyone. No one feels like they're trying in this movie. So that's the non-spoiler review. I'll have a spoiler review out soon. That's probably going to be a little bit longer because, good lord, there's a lot to talk about in this movie. But with that being said, you know, if you like the video, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I recommend just go seeing Top Gun Maverick. It's way more entertaining than this movie, or heck, just watch the original Jurassic Park movie, or even just literally watch any other Jurassic Park film, and you'll be like, that was more entertaining, or better or worse, than this movie. This movie is the epitome of lame, which almost makes it more insulting, that the fact that it's so obvious that there was very little effort put in from a whole lot of the different filmmaking aspects and the writing aspects, and even the actors seemed like they didn't want to be there. What more can I say? Just skip this one. Stay safe out there. Bye.